Alright, let's get started. Here we have F-Response Universal Console. First thing we'll do is use the settings to put in the host name as well as the username and password so that we can access our F-Response Universal virtual appliance. This instance we are going to use a Active Directory credential on a test network to connect. So once we've added in our credential, you'll see it appears as an appliance up there in the Appliances panel. Double-clicking on that appliance allows us to authenticate. Down on the left-hand side, you'll see the expiration date of the appliance license, and on the right-hand side, you would see the number of connected machines. So we're going to go ahead and put in some credentials here. We're going to use the Configure Credentials option to put in a Windows credential. And then we're also going to use a secondary credential so that we can connect to a non-Windows systems. In this case, we're going to use that credential to connect to an Apple machine. So we've added in our credentials here. We're now going to do a scan to look for those machines. We're going to look for a machine both by IP address and by host name. What scanning does is it reaches out and accesses the remote machine using those credentials, and it attempts to deploy, first to determine if there's software, F-Response Universal software there, and then to deploy and start that software. So as you can see, they're both available. We have no software there. So we're going to go ahead and install and start our software on those remote machines. As they connect, you'll see them appear in the console behind me here. You'll see the subjects panel, which will fill with our subject machines as they come online. Down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see connected to and resolved to. Essentially, if you have a number of machines connected to your appliance, as those machines are resolved, as we're able to determine their host information as well as the targets that they export, they'll be available for view. Now here we have the subject. Selecting an individual subject, of course, allows me to see the available targets. We have different target types with F-Response Universal. The first target type we're going to talk about today is the physical device. You'll see that as disk, dash, and a number, and then the size. Double-clicking on that target mounts the target as a physical drive. And you can see here it's mounted on our machine, I believe it's physical drive 1. You can see also below that it populates the Active Targets panel. The Active Targets panel is going to stay up to date regardless of where we navigate in the user interface, so we're always going to know what we have connected. In addition, if you right-click on an Active Targets mount point, you have different options. You can actually open that active target directly in F-Response Imager, should you have it installed and you're running the 64-bit version of F-Response Universal. You can open it in the F-Response Imager, which will of course open up the dialog to actually kick off the creation of an image of that physical device. For more information on the F-Response Imager, we recommend you check out that video. Now, in addition, we had the option to open Windows Explorer as well as open a command prompt in that location. So let's go ahead and double click on a Discovery Share. Discovery Shares are a virtual file system, if you will. It gives you access to the remote machine's files and folders read-only in a forensically sound manner with no file level locking. We're going to go ahead and right-click and open in Windows Explorer. So of course this opens up Windows Explorer, automatically navigated to the root directory of that newly attached Discovery Share. You can see the files and folders of our remote Apple machine. So we'll go ahead and close Windows Explorer. Now let's we'll go back to our Windows machine and we'll double click on a memory share. Memory shares are effectively a way to access the physical memory of the remote machine. In this case, the physical memory appears as a single live file. So we've matched our memory share in. We can right-click and open a command prompt and take a look at that share, or that location. This will give us the ability to do things like run the volatility tools, etc., directly from the command line against that live memory image file. You see we have the ability to also filter our subject machines. We can use the View Filter option. The filter effectively creates a filtered view of the number of the machines you have visible. You'll see by putting in Win and star, it showed me only the machine which started with the letter Win. We can also remove the View filter and restore it to normal operating mode. You can see reselecting either individual machine, we can immediately see what devices are currently connected. We also have a messages panel. Any errors would be reported in the messages panel. If not in use, of course, the message panel will disappear and it can be closed by the user. Lastly, what we'll go over is we'll look at removing individual targets. They can be removed either from active targets or from the actual machine themselves. Simply do this by double-clicking on any of the targets. Now we'll go ahead and remove F-Response from the remote machine. Right-clicking on the appliance, we'll select Deploy via LAN and WAN. Since our credentials since we haven't closed the application, since we inputted our credentials, they're still saved. We'll go ahead and put in the host name and IP address of those remote machines. We'll resume the scan operation, and then once the scan operation has completed, we'll select those machines and stop and uninstall fresponse from them, effectively returning them back to the state they were in before we began. So you can see the process is very straightforward and very simple. Essentially, we're using this universal console to talk to the appliance, and then we're deploying software to remote machines and connecting to various targets exported by those remote machines. Everything you saw today is also wrapped in a programmable COM object, so it can be programmed or scripted using third-party COM accessible languages. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about fresponse universal, feel free to contact us at www.f-response.com. Thanks, and have a great day.